In this video, you will be learning about tissues in the human body. So first, let's take a look at what the definition of a tissue is. So throughout the semester, we've kind of talked about this hierarchy of organization that is associated with life. And so we've talked about how all matter is made up of atoms. And when you put atoms together, you can form molecules. When you put molecules together, you can form organelles. When you put organelles together, you can form cells. When you put cells together, you can form tissues. When you put tissues together, you can form organs. When you put organs together, you can form organ systems. And when you put organ systems together, you can form a multicellular organism like a human. So throughout this course, we've talked a lot about the basic chemistry. We've talked about the organelles, especially the ribosomes and the mitochondria and what they do. And we've talked a lot about cells, and now we are going to be focusing on these things called tissues. Now, for those of you that are moving on to anatomy and physiology, you will cover the organs, organ systems, and kind of the human organism as a whole, and you'll also cover tissue. So I guess I should include that there as well. So you will kind of cover these in the A&P or the anatomy and physiology courses. So now that we know where tissues kind of fit in this hierarchy of things, what is a tissue? So a tissue, kind of by definition, is a group of similar cells working together to perform a function. So the definition of a tissue is a group of similar cells working together to perform a function. There are four main types of tissues in the human body, and those four types are epithelial tissue, muscle tissue, nervous tissue, and connective tissue. Now, there are additionally subtypes of these tissues. So we'll talk about some examples of the more specific types of tissues that can be put in these kind of four main categories. And as we look at these four main types of tissues, we're going to be looking at how they differ in their location, so where they're located in the body, their structure, and structure is kind of what they're made of, so what it's made of. And function, which is what it does. So as we go through the next several slides, I recommend that you make a chart like this one in your notebook or on a sheet of paper or something to help you kind of organize your notes. So this will help you compare and contrast the different types of tissues. So you'll go through and we're going to go in order. So you're going to start with epithelial tissue. And then we'll talk about muscle tissue, nervous tissue, and lastly, connective tissue. And as we go through, we're going to be talking about the different subtypes, locations, structure, and function, and you can kind of fill in your chart as you go along.